wagons and be hungrier than ever. Well, the 180-degree turnarounds are ready. So are the 360-degree ones. Because everything is ready to matter, no matter what. Are you ready?
Back on a Football Monday on Get Up, we run the hurry-ups with some quarterback performances. Rex, Patrick Mahomes threw 5 touchdowns yesterday. Your thoughts?
Greeny, my thoughts are this. In this one game alone, he's already thrown more touchdown passes than the Jets' entire team for the entire season. So to me, Patrick Mahomes, it was an average game for him. Only 5 touchdowns. Way to go, kid. I know it's against the Jets. It should only count for 3. But, hey, guess what? You got it. My fantasy hero right there. Go ahead, Patrick Mahomes. By the way, that guy's pretty good, too.
Yeah, it was just hideous to watch. Dan, Joe Burrow looking every bit the #1 pick. Your thoughts?
He's unbelievable, Greeny. I remember him when he was coming out of draft. People were saying Joe Burrow's not going to be that good of a pro because he was surrounded by so much talent at LSU. Swing and a miss on that one, folks. I mean, this dude is unbelievable. I think the thing that I love about him the most is that the swag and the moxie from off the field carries on to on the field. And he's been the reason that they've actually been in some games, and he was the reason they won the game yesterday. He was great in the red zone. He gave his guys chances to make plays downfield. I'm absolutely all in on Joe Burrow being a superstar.
And then RC, Tua time finally arrives in Miami, and it was not busy. What did you see yesterday?
It wasn't only not busy, he was absolutely carried. And listen, you want to be able to carry your guy. You want for your young rookie to be able to acclimate, but we got to see what he can do. This defense was amazing. Brian Flores is showing us that he is one of the top coaches in the NFL. And then defensively, they were able to confuse McVay, put pressure on him every time he went empty, have an answer for everything that they did. But Tua Tagovailoa didn't have to do anything. It was like he didn't play. And then when you told me you guys were going to ask me this, and I had 45 seconds to talk about Tua, I had to try to figure out something to say because he ain't do nothing. Maybe we'll see it going forward. But as far as yesterday, oh no! Oh no!
Well, what you did do, though, was you set up the conversation perfectly when you said the phrase, we got to see what he can do. I hope everyone saw Adam Schefter's very interesting report coming out of Miami yesterday, because I will remind you, of those who don't know, that the Dolphins have Houston's first-round pick this coming season. The Texans have 1 win, which suggests they could wind up being in the market at the top of the draft for some of these really big quarterbacks who'll be coming out, maybe Trevor Lawrence, maybe Justin Fields. And so Schefter reported that one of the reasons, part of the thinking of getting Tua on the field as they did, was that they need to evaluate whether or not they have their quarterback of the future before they can make up their mind what they want to do in the draft. Dan, what do you think of that strategy?
Yeah, you don't evaluate your quarterback when you have a playoff football team. I mean, that's what the Dolphins are, is a playoff caliber football team. So you should not be in the thought process of evaluating a young player. I'll sit here and say this, Greeny. If you told me Ryan Fitzpatrick was still the Dolphins starting quarterback today, I would pick them to win the AFC East. I've been that impressed with them over the last month, especially on the defensive side. They're that good of a team. And so I just can't connect the dots on that thought process for the Miami Dolphins organization. You're good enough to go win that division. The division is weak in 50% of it. You're good enough to go win the division. Don't bench a guy who's playing really good football that can go take you to the playoffs to evaluate Tua Tagovailoa at the quarterback spot.
Rex.
Well, first off, I would say this. What if Justin Herbert was your quarterback? How would you feel now?
I might pick him to be the 1 seed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Okay, so to me, here's what I know, okay? And it's fascinating, unbelievable by Adam Schefter, the best by far, okay? Because when I looked at it this way, I just know there's one quarterback on their roster that's not going to take me to a playoff. And that's Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm sorry, 16 years is a pretty big resume. I don't care that he's had a couple of hot games. To me, Tua, you drafted him 5th overall. Why? Because you know Ryan Fitzpatrick can't get it done. So I'm not going to question Brian Flores at all. And Ryan Clark, talks about this defense. I agree with him. Brian Flores doing a great job. So let's trust that he's trying to evaluate this kid. I mean, not necessarily trying to evaluate. He's trying to win right now with Tua. Are we concerned because he's so short and he's got maybe a possible hip injury and there's durability questions about him? Then why the hell did we draft him? That was why I said it was the biggest gamble in the history of the NFL draft. And I still see it, but I'm still pulling for the kid at the same time.
Well, so RC, I mean, it could be an example, if this is really the primary part of the thinking of an organization putting the organization ahead of the team. And that's an interesting thing to do at a point, as Dan just said, where the team looks pretty good and the division looks gettable.
Yeah, but I feel like they've been doing that since Brian Flores became the coach. You know, we looked at them stockpiling picks, giving away good players, and then Ryan Fitzpatrick and Brian Flores find ways to win games. And then now this season, this Josh Poyer defense is amazing. This defense can win playoff games today. Right. When Byron Jones is healthy, when Xavier Howard is right, they can win games today. And so if you can win games with this defense right now, but your quarterback can't win you a playoff game, but your quarterback can't play you into a playoff game, which they don't know if Tua Tagovailoa can, then you don't make this choice. This is not a winner's choice. To make a draft pick and now be questioning that draft pick, if the reports are true, and now be questioning that draft pick so much that you just have to throw him out there so you can see him in live action just to know that he can do it. Listen, 2 wrongs don't make a right. 3 lefts, like they just don't. 2 wrongs don't make a right. So trying to correct a missed draft or a bad draft pick by allowing your team to fail is not the way to fix it. If you think you're wrong, go ahead and be wrong and use that pick going forward. But don't hurt the men on this team right now, the coaches on this coaching staff that has done such a great job by trying to fill out a quarterback when you have a team that's ready to win everywhere else right now.
Especially since you don't have any control over what Houston does. You really can't control where you wind up drafting in this. But I feel someone should say this. I mean, there were people talking about Tua like he was going to be the best player in the league.
This isn't for me a talent thing about Tua. I think Tua is going to be a great pro. This is for me about the now. Like right now, you have a team that can go win your division. And Tua, like there were some moments yesterday. He takes a deep shot downfield to Gesicki, one-on-one ball, gets it broken up. He gets the ball driven to the sideline, the touchdown. Like there's moments, sure, but there's nothing that made me sit there and go, oh, you know, like I did with Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow. When I watched them play this year, I go, you know, go ahead, RC.
Yeah, but the other thing too, though, Dan, is I think we all had convinced ourselves that even though Fitzpatrick was playing the way he did, that Tua had done so much at practice, they'd seen so much from him that he earned